Just days after the change, business owners are already dissatisfied with the city's new parking rates. Good evening and thank you for joining us. A petition has been launched in opposition of Thunder Bay's new parking fee system.
The Waterfront District BIA takes issue with the new metered rates. As of June 1st, it now costs a minimum $2 for 1 hour, even if motorists only park for a few minutes. Paid parking hours have also been extended from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Jaden Billick has more.
Following the recent changes, many business owners don't agree with the $2 minimum charge for downtown parking. Small businesses worry they'll pay the consequences by losing customers who don't want to pay that much to stop for a quick purchase or pick up an order. The Waterfront BIA has now launched a petition calling for the allowance of 15 to 30-minute parking options in the downtown cores.
It's on change.org, it's on our Facebook, it's on the Chamber's Facebook. There's been a few businesses downtown that have shared it, so it's pretty easy to search out. And as of 10 minutes ago or so, we had 727 signatures.
As of Wednesday, the existing parking meters have not yet been updated to the new pricing system. So, drivers can still pay a quarter for 12-minute parking. In the future, however, once the new system is fully integrated, the new standing fee will be enforced.
So, keep using those meters, and I don't foresee them actually leaving when we have our streets redone because the parking stations are so expensive and we have the infrastructure in the meters. They've already reinstalled them on Court Street, and they will be doing the same thing for the few spaces that we have on Red River Road, the accessible spaces and the loading zones.
Pratt says the petition has not gone unnoticed. City Council members have been talking with them, hoping to create a compromise for the local businesses being affected. City Councilors Casey Trini and Shelby Chung are submitting a resolution to Council to add short-term parking payment options in the near future. Trini calls it an oversight by the city.
The Waterfront BIA has reached out with an email this afternoon that I haven't even had a chance to look at yet. And so I want to be respectful to them. I haven't had a chance to look at to see their concerns. And it, like I said, it's in the engagement piece and approving the whole entire parking plan. I apologize for this oversight, but you know, we've heard and we want action and we'll make something happen.
Trini has learned the next few council agendas are already extremely full, and she hopes the resolution will be brought forward in early July. Jaden Billick, TBT News.
The Council Composition Committee will soon share what it's learned so far. The group will make its first presentation to City Council at the June 24th meeting. Since forming, the committee has conducted a number of community consultations and has learned that the public wants a smaller council. Surveys also show the public is split on the city's ward system, but most feel the boundaries need to be reviewed. Chair Rebecca Johnson says her committee won't provide recommendations at the June 24th meeting. She hopes, however, that councillors are open-minded moving forward.
We might change. Like my feeling is that we're going to come in with some changes to the current status of council. It's been around for many, many years. And so that I'm hoping that they will look at it as something that'll be new and different and that they embrace that, not knowing what that's going to look like. But at the same point in time, we'll say we're open to change.
Arrowland First Nation is denouncing plans to build a $900 million mineral processing plant in Sudbury. That city just signed an agreement with Australian mining company Wyloo that would see minerals from the Ring of Fire processed there. The smelter would produce key compounds used to make EV batteries using metals from Wyloo's Eagle's Nest mine. Construction would begin in 2027. The company acknowledges it still needs to develop partnerships with Matawa First Nations and hopes the mine will be in production by 2030. But Arrowland First Nation Chief Sonny Gagnon says they're putting the cart before the horse. In a statement, he says, quote, "It's shocking that Wyloo and other mining giants act as if the Ring of Fire mining is going ahead for sure, despite the extreme level of harm it could cause to First Nations, climate change, the fragile environment, and endangered species in the area." Gagnon adds they want to see the results of a regional impact assessment before any projects move ahead, and nothing without First Nations consent.
A historic day for Anishinaabe Nation, where for the first time a woman has been elected Grand Council Chief in a landslide election today in Sudbury. In a traditional stand-up election, the vast majority of the chiefs, including Fort William's Michelle Solomon, supported Linda DeBasage of Chicking First Nation of Manitoulin Island. She defeated the incumbent Reg Niganobi 28-9. In her acceptance speech, DeBasage emphasized the power of working collectively toward a common goal.
Our way of life rests on us becoming healthier, working together in a united way, and pushing back on the forces that continue to oppress us and take things away. And I know we can do that.
The chiefs in Assembly also elected a deputy grand chief and 4 regional chiefs, including Mel Hardy of BZA for the Northern Superior region.
Ontario's fiscal watchdog has released a review of a spending plan for the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services.
The Financial Accountability Office highlights that more than 70,000 kids are seeking support through the Ontario Autism program, but fewer than 15,000 are getting funding for core therapy. CTV's Siobhan Morris explains.
A gummy bear.
It's the kind of therapy parents of kids with autism say makes all the difference. But the gulf between those receiving help and those waiting for it is widening. Ontario's Financial Accountability Officer says fewer than 15,000 kids are getting funding for core therapy.
It's about 72,000 children have been registered for the autism program. We don't know how many are waiting to be assessed for core clinical services.
The government counters that things are dramatically better than they used to be.
We doubled the funding of the Ontario Autism Program. We added another $60 million to the program, and this year, Mr. Speaker, we added $120 million to the $600 million.
The government intends to make that $120 million, which had been a one-time top-up, a permanent addition to autism funding.
It's still a drop in the bucket of what needs to happen. They made a mess of the Ontario Autism program.
With families paying the price.
This government keeps talking about how much money they're spending, but the bottom line is the wait list continues to grow.
Listen to families who are saying this isn't working. This process that you're putting us through, it's too hard.
Autism isn't the only area where money isn't meeting demand. Overall, the FAO says the ministry is underspending on social services by $3.7 billion.
This is a huge shortfall for programs that literally keep some of Ontario's most vulnerable populations alive.
Again, the minister insists funding
increased by $600 million this year.
But demand for those dollars is increasing too. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A 27-year-old Thunder Bay man turned himself into police this morning on child pornography charges. Kevin Surjanin is accused of possessing, accessing, and making the material available. Local police searched a West Frederica Street home last month and seized an electronic device. Surjanin appeared in court today and remains in custody.
Thunder Bay OPP continued to investigate a 2-vehicle collision along the highway in Shunya late yesterday afternoon. The crash involved a car and pickup truck at the intersection with Mackenzie Heights Road. According to eyewitnesses, the vehicle entering the divided highway failed to yield and collided with an oncoming vehicle. The car reportedly flipped several times, but the 2 young women inside suffered only minor injuries. There's no word yet from OPP on whether any charges will be laid.
There should soon be 11 more paramedics working in the Thunder Bay District.
Superior North EMS just brought on a brand new group of recruits, and they're wrapping up their training and testing this week. Lee Noonan has the details.
There's a shortage of paramedics across the province, and the Thunder Bay District is no exception. But Superior North EMS is getting a little help with 11 new hires about to start working. Superintendent of Professional Standards, Marika Listema, says they're badly needed.
We're very, very excited. They're a good group. This year's recruits, every year's recruits are really good. They're very excited. I enjoy doing the onboarding with them because they bring a real good energy with them. So I know our staff are very happy and welcoming to them because they appreciate their help, because we do need the help.
6 of the new paramedics will be working in the city and the other 5 out in the district. That includes Scott Ramsden.
Want to get into a career where I could help people, but I also want to have a job that's different every day, and just get to learn new things and have a challenging career.
Ramzan and most of his fellow recruits just completed the Confederation College Paramedic program. The EMS service hired almost all of this year's graduating class. Ramzan says he's feeling excited to get started, tempered with a little healthy fear.
Our last semester is 432 hours of placement, so we're paired with a preceptor, and we did get quite a lot of experience for the most part, but I think it's the stuff you haven't seen, and every call is different.
Listema says the recruits are already well trained when they graduate, but they still spend a couple of weeks onboarding.
We run them through our policies and procedures, we run them through operationals, we run them through a driving program, we teach them street smart, we teach them the working mind, so it's quite extensive.
The recruits now have to work 3 shifts with a regular crew and pass a provincial exam before they're in the rotation as full-fledged paramedics. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
The Viking Octantist arrived in Thunder Bay this morning, kicking off the much-anticipated cruise ship season.
Local officials honored the captain and received a tour of the vessel. Riley McManus was there and brings us the details.
Every place has its own charm.
This marks the 3rd year the Viking Octantist has made its way through the Great Lakes and docked in Thunder Bay. The welcoming event included a tour of the luxurious cruise ship. Mayor Ken Boshkoff presented Captain Jorgen Kardagsig of the Octantist with an honorary gift for being the first cruise ship of the season and for continuing to make the trips to Thunder Bay and surrounding areas. Captain Kardagsig acknowledged the continuing work the city has done in creating a more welcoming space at the Pool 6 dock.
As I said earlier, the improvements we see here in Thunder Bay with the berth and the building, and I think that's impressive. So it's really nice to see that they want us here, and I think we're here to stay.
The ship currently has 370 passengers on board with close to 250 staff. There are many sitting areas for guests to relax, read, and take in the sights, and even learn from one of their trained guides about the wildlife that surrounds you. A full spa, gym, multiple pool areas, along with a grand entertainment hall followed. The tour then took us into the captain's area.
Display over the engine room, or how many engines we have at the moment.
In great detail, the captains explain how they dock the 665-foot ship, especially when the winds are high or water's rough, to creating their own water on board, the amount of fuel, and that the ship could go a whole month without needing to refill it.
You know, there's a lot of economic impacts on the community, but there's also a lot of impacts in terms of the reputation of the community as well. So cruising helps amplify and elevate the community's reputation to a whole new global audience.
Pepe adds that 2023 saw 14 visits by 4 different cruise ships, with a $4.3 million economic impact on the city and region. There will be 16 cruise visits this year. The Octantist is now headed to its next stop. Her sister ship, the Viking Polaris, will arrive here on Friday evening. Riley McManus, TBT News.
To officially kick off Crossing Guards Appreciation Week, the city held a celebration lunch to honor those who keep children safe on the roads.
Hereby proclaim June 3rd to the 7th of 2024 as Crossing Guard Appreciation Week.
The celebration was held at the Oliver Road Community Center. Officials from the city, the school board, health unit, and city police spoke at the ceremony. They thanked District Crossing Guards for their tireless dedication and the love they hold for their jobs.
Yes, I've enjoyed it very, very much. It's just to be out and I'm not one to sit in front of the TV and watch all day, so I got to get out and do something, and I have enjoyed being a crossing guard very, very much.
Well, they are very important to the safety of our children, walking to school every day, and I think with the new provincial government mandate to change the busing regulations, we're going to see even more children walking to school. We have to recognize the crossing guards do more than just the safety on the streets.
City officials say they're always looking for more crossing guards, especially as the number of children walking to and from school is expected to grow in September.
There's no place like home, especially if you're a fan of The Wizard of Oz. The classic film is being recreated this week at Hammersholt High School as the students have been working hard to bring the story of Dorothy and her friends to the stage.
The house began to pitch, the kitchen took a switch, it led right on the wicked witch to the middle of the ditch.
Audiences will be taken down the yellow brick road as they embrace in the sights and sounds of the magical land of Oz. The play follows the story of young Dorothy, the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow as they try to get her back home to Kansas. The students have been working hard for months with auditions, creating the set, and really learning their characters inside and out.
Big character. He's scared, but he blossomed into this character. He finds his inner strength because he cares about Dorothy. He wants to help her find her way back to Kansas. So it's a lot about being big. It's about being fun. It's about really just kind of letting loose on the stage, having fun with my voice and with my actions. I kind of feel like a Looney Tunes character sometimes with the way that I'm moving around.
My Scarecrow part really is just a little clumsy guy. You know, just he's having fun with Dorothy. You can say he's kind of like reckless at times. You know, and he's fun. You know, I really like him.
A very kind and compassionate person. He cares about others, but since he's made out of tin, he feels that he doesn't have a heart and he's incapable of love. But truly, he is capable of love. He just has to go along this journey to find that inner part of him.
Doors open at 7 p.m. for the 2 performances, scheduled for tomorrow and Friday evening. Tickets can be purchased at the door.
That looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, for sure.
All right, I'm sure both performers and audiences will enjoy that one. All right, let's turn to the weather now, Fiona, and something that people may not be enjoying right now. We heard the thunder booming outside just about 15 minutes ago or so.
Yes, we definitely have a thunderstorm in the region, a little bit noisy, always a little bit scary for us during the newscast whether or not we're going to lose power. But today we didn't lose the heat. We started out with an early morning low of 12. We warmed up to 20 Celsius. The rain for the most part was in the pre-dawn hours and into the morning, and then it, for the most part in Thunder Bay, tapered off a bit. We've been under mostly cloudy skies all afternoon, winds fairly light from the west, 8 to about 15 kilometers per hour. But if you want to see what it looked like, this is the system moving through today. At this hour, this is what we still have moving in, and of course it's moving in a northeasterly direction, so there's still a lot more chances of a little bit of rain right now. It's a little bit of those yellow and orange sections, and that's what's just bumping into Thunder Bay. And across the region, no surprise, they've got rain at this hour in Fort Frances. They're currently at their daytime high of 20 up into Red Lake, matching that, but it stayed dry, out of the line of fire, mostly cloudy, and they actually topped out with a high of 22. Similar temperatures in Kenora, Sioux Lookout, Dryden, then it starts to cool down a bit, but that's just this afternoon as the rain moved in. They saw their daytime highs in Greenstone and down into Sault Ste. Marie around noon today, hitting 24, 25 Celsius. It's just been as the rain has moved in, the temperatures have been starting to slip back a little bit. And unfortunately, Marathon and Wawa, because of the direction of the wind, keeping things quite cool at this hour. They're just in the single digits at 7 and 9 Celsius. Tonight in the city of Thunder Bay, we are going to stay within the double digits, a low of 10, but as you've already heard outside, most likely outside your window as well, an evening thunderstorm that could continue for the next couple of hours, then mostly cloudy and a 60% chance of showers as those little pockets of rain move through the region. Winds will be from the southwest 10 to 30 kilometers per hour. So still a good chance of some rain tonight, and unfortunately there's a lot of unstable air, so that chance of rain is going to linger for a few more days before we get a break from it. So here's fingers crossed that we'll start to see a little more sunshine in time for the weekend.
Yeah, that would be nice. That's what everybody wants. We'll take this during the week, but the weekend is time to do things outside. So.
Here's hoping.
Thanks a lot, Fiona. All right, let's turn our attention to national news now. It's news that a lot of people had been waiting for. It was expected, and it did happen. The Bank of Canada lowered its key lending rate today, 25 basis points, bringing the interest rate down to 4.75%. It's the first time in over 4 years that the bank has actually lowered the rate. We'll have details on that and more when your news hour continues after the break.
The Governing Council decided monetary policy no longer needs to be as restrictive.